Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Icewind Dale. Alright, let's not talk to Stubbletoes this time. Let's at least explore the town first. Let's talk to Murdo.
What's this? Why, look here, Master Kier. It seems that Lady Tybor has blessed your coffers this season after all. This hardy band of brave-looking souls will surely keep your kegs flowing well into the night.
We haven't come here for the drink. We are on an urgent quest to prevent a war with the barbarians in these parts.
Ah, a stalwart troop of courageous adventurers on a quest for honor and glory. I was once like you, full of fire and spirit. These days I'm content to simply be full of drink.
You speak rather well for a man who admits to being a drunkard. Who are you?
My name is Murdaugh of Auckney, wandering bard and failure extraordinaire. Welcome to Lonelywood. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Well met, Murdaugh. Perhaps you could tell us of the recent goings-on in this part of the Dale?
As you wish. What does you wish to know?
What can you tell us about the barbarians rumored to be threatening the Dale?
'Tis no rumor. There have been numerous reports of a huge army of tribesmen moving southward into the Dale. I assure you the threat the barbarians pose to Lonelywood and the rest of the towns is very real.
I've heard the barbarians have a camp nearby. Do you know where it is?
I can't say that I do. However, you see that rugged dwarven gentleman at the table over there? I believe he might be able to point you in the right direction.
I see. Let me ask you something else. We'd like to know more about the town of Lonelywood.
There isn't much to tell, really. Lonelywood is the northernmost of the 10 towns. It is one of the smallest settlements in the Dale. The folk that live here are mostly common tradesmen, seeking to earn a living away from the fierce competition between the larger towns.
Is there any place around here to buy weapons and equipment?
There are no blacksmiths in town, but Emmerich may be able to furnish you with weapons and equipment. He's a bowyer by trade. His cabin is in the southeastern corner of town.
Okay. Let's see. Where can I find it? No, I'll go with that. You seem like an interesting fellow. Tell us more of yourself. All right. Then failure. You don't seem to have a very high opinion of yourself.
Oh, on the contrary, I acknowledge the fact that I've been highly successful at failing at whatever task is set before me. It is the reason why I've wound up here so far from Auckney.
Perhaps you might succeed in providing us with a bit of information. Oh, it's the same thing. All right. I've never heard of Auckney. How far away is it?
I'm not surprised you haven't heard of it. Auckney is a small kingdom that clings to the windy foothills of the spine of the World Mountains.
I don't think so.
It lies upon the trade route, just beyond the pass, several days' journey to the south.
If it's on the trade route, then surely we would have heard about it. Surely it would be on the map. Except it's not on any map.
Although for me, Auckney is much, much further away than you could possibly imagine.
What do you mean?
I mean that I am destined to never again set foot within the borders of my homeland. I am dead to Auckney.
Why? Were you banished or something?
Indeed, though it is a banishment imposed by my own actions, or inactions, rather. Alas, it is a sad tale, one that I do not wish to burden you with.
We don't mind. Please tell us your tale.
I am flattered by your request, but I am afraid there is no art left in me. The best I can manage these days are a few uninspired words accompanied by sour notes plucked from broken heartstrings.
Stop being so dramatic, Murdo.
Your silver tongue may be a bit tarnished from all the wine, but we still manage to squeeze a few good performances out of you from time to time. Well said, my friend. Though I would have to say that those few good performances were inspired by the excess of drink rather than the absence of it.
Can I buy you a drink in exchange for a tale? Great. Another washed-up bard who gets his talent from a bottle. The gutters of the realms are full of drunkards who would sing for a cup of wine. We'll go with this.
Very well. You supply the coin, and I shall spin a tale, though I cannot promise you will get your money's worth.
I'll give you a shiny gold piece, a fair price for a tale. Here, 5 gold should be enough for a few drinks. Here's 10 gold, that should fetch you enough wine for a star performance. Go with that.
I do not deserve such generous patronage, good sir. However, since this coin will undoubtedly find its way into the pockets of my good friend Kieran here, I shall accept your offer in the spirit of improved commerce. Very well, if it is a tale you desire, then a tale you shall have. Now put yourselves at ease, my friends, for the story I am about to tell you is a true account, and like all truths should be well received with the utmost attention to detail.
Let's see. Go on, we're listening.
There once was a time many years ago when my heart like a smith's forge was aglow. With the bright burning flames of passion, I was a bard, and, as was the fashion, I travelled the land, stopping each night to perform for kind hosts who would invite. A wandering minstrel in for a meal, each ballad I sang did always appeal to both nobility and commoner, for I did sing of virtue and honour, of fortune, glory, and other such things that strike the fancies of peasants and kings. Far and wide throughout the realms I did roam. Song was my life, and the road was my home, until one day as I happened by chance to be entertaining with song and dance a crowd of children from a nearby town, when along came a servant of the crown. A loyal servant of Auckney was he. In his hands he bore a royal decree, from which he read with a baritone voice, hear ye, let the kingdom rejoice. The Princess of Auckney shall soon be wed to the king's magistrate, Lord Hugh the Red. His Majesty does graciously extend an invitation for all to attend tonight's festivities at the castle, to honor his most worthy vassal. For the rest of his words I did not wait. Like an arrow I shot straight for the gate of the king's castle, where I did present my skills as a bard for the night's event. The king was kind, I'm pleased to report, for he welcomed me into his court, and treated me as an honored guest. In return I did promise him my best, and even offered to compose a tune so lovely it would make his subjects swoon. Indeed, that night I did keep to my word, and sang such a ballad that none had heard. It was a rousing tale of blood and gold, of heroes, villains, and kingdoms of old. But as I performed, my eyes did meet the gaze of an angel, lovely and sweet. 'Twas the young princess that captured my soul, and for her I sang with all my art, pouring my soul out with each ringing note, until no more sound would come from my throat. And when at last my performance did end, the king himself was the first to commend such a fine display of lyrical skill. He offered gold as sign of goodwill, and he further insisted that I stay as an honored guest until the day his beloved daughter was to be wed to his chief magistrate, Lord Hugh the Red. I humbly agreed, though I did not know how strong my love for the princess would grow, for each passing day was spent at her side, and often upon horseback we did ride out into the forests near Castle Auck, where I would play music and she would talk of her betrothal to Lord Hugh the Red, and how she wished she were free instead, to follow her heart and marry her love. Oh, how I prayed to the heavens above for the chance to make the princess my own, but Timora's dice had already been thrown. As I pined in vain, the nights quickly passed, and the day of the wedding came at last. But before the groom could offer his ring, the princess bride declared to the king that she loved another and would not bear to marry the magistrate, and forswear her one true love. At which point she did turn, and spoke the words for which my heart did yearn. I love thee, Murdaugh, whatever. And were it my say, I would gladly marry you on this day. Upon hearing her words, the groom went pale. He turned to the king and started to rail. On about law and tradition he went, begging his majesty not to consent, for the princess was of the noble line, and could not be wed to some low-born swine. The king was torn, for his daughter was dear, but the laws of the kingdom were quite clear. So in silence he stood, shaking his head, until at last it was Lord Hugh the Red who proposed a solution, nay, a scheme, which at that moment in time it did seem to be a fair and noble compromise, for which I thought him to be very wise. He pointed out that it was the king's right by law to bestow the title of knight upon any man who succeeded in a quest. In addition, he did further suggest that because I was not of noble birth, there was but one way to prove my worth. Journey to the north, where the Icewind blows. There you must find the fabled glacier rose. The king did heed his magistrate's advice, and bade me quest for this rose made of ice, and decreed to all that, should I succeed, the hand of the princess he would concede. So with hope in my heart I sallied forth, and began my journey through the frozen north. For 3 years did I search, both high and low, across seas of ice and mountains of snow. I visited all 10 towns of Icewind Dale, but alas, it seems I was destined to fail.
How much you want to bet I'm going to find this thing?
After 4 long years I gave up my search, and traded my quest for this lonely perch. For it was here upon this very stool that I realized I'd been played for a fool. For as surely as the Icewind blows, there is no such thing as a glacier rose.
Sorry, I must have dozed off. That is the most depressing thing I've ever heard. You are pathetic. A most excellent tale. Farewell, Murdo. I suppose it couldn't hurt to keep an eye out for one during our travels. Hey, indeed. Hello! You have a room for sale, or rent, or whatever.
Well met, strangers. Welcome to the Whistling Gallows Inn. I am Kieran Nye, proprietor of this fine establishment. How may I be of service?
Perhaps you could answer a few questions for us.
Certainly. What is it you wish to know?
Why is there a door hidden behind the mirror in your bedroom?
Shh! Lower your voice, please. I've gone to great lengths to keep that room a secret. Behind that door is the remains of a life I wish to leave behind. Do you understand?
Maybe I do, maybe I don't. What's this all about? Yeah. No, I don't understand. What are you talking about?
I see you won't be satisfied until you pry the secret from me. Very well, if you must know, I'm in exile from an organization so paranoid and extreme that they would slay me for daring to break from their tentacular grasp.
Kraken Society?
Oh, no. This organization is known as the Host Tower of the Arcane. Based in Luskan, they're a group of malefic wizards bent on gaining personal power at all costs. I quickly grew tired of their scheming and deigned to leave. Even now they search for me. I hide here in the hopes that I can lead a life as carefree as these settlers. Please, my friend, do not tell a soul of my past.
What do I get out of this?
In exchange for your silence, you have my eternal gratitude. In addition, I can give you access to some rare and powerful magical devices that I've gathered over the years.
Very well, let me see what you have to offer. Ah! Dagger of Safe Harbor. The mage Gullwings, was a seafaring merchant who always respected the mighty power of the ocean. He had seen many of his crewmates go flying overboard during horrible storms, lost in a split second of fear. For that reason, he developed his now famous blade, the Dagger of Safe Harbor. The weapon saved Gullwin's life on at least 3 occasions. When he retired from his life at sea, he gave the weapon to a friend from Mintar named Valkyr. Seriously? That's the name of a god. Are you saying that his friend went on to become the god himself? Autoluke's resilient sphere, once per day. User is immune to all attacks, but unable to affect the outside world. Yeah. Don't care. Zilzanar's Magnificent Dart +1. The eccentric master wizard Zilzenzer, well known for his Ring of the Gorgon, was also the creator of a number of small magical missile weapons. Zilzanzer's magnificent darts were sold to many of the wizard's colleagues. Unlike many of Zilzanzer's other creations, his darts actually performed as he intended them to. He created a great number of the darts before his untimely demise. Wielder can throw up to 5 of Zilzanzer's darts in a single round, regardless of class. So they just do extra damage. Okay? Zane Lafar's Flying Skull. Zane Lafar, a mad red wizard of Thay, was known for turning the skulls of his slain enemies into weapons. His most common weapon was known as the Flying Skull. In essence, the item is not much different from the spell Skull Trap, but it is meant to be used offensively instead of defensively. Zane Lafar died in 913 DR, long before he had time to use even half of his enchanted skulls. They were claimed by his foes, a paladin and priest of Helm. They intended to destroy the items, but at least 40 were stolen by crafty thieves on the way back to Sembia. 48 fire, range 20 feet, 8-foot radius. I don't think I really care about those. He's got 8 of them. Thrim extract. This thick liquid is harvested and distilled from the glands of dead polar worms. It is the substance that helps keep the huge creatures warm in the desolate north. Drinking the liquid straight from the creature's body is almost always fatal, so alchemists attempted to distill the substance until it was relatively safe to consume. Even in its current state, however, it can still be deadly. Cold resistance 100%. Damage to user 8d6 fire. Save versus death at -4 negates. Yeah, I don't think I care about that. And why is it named after the frost giant deity? Jameson's Sling +1. Powerful gnomish hero Harl Jameson used the sling in his numerous battles with the ogres and goblins that infest his homeland. Jameson was the head of a famous band of gnomish adventurers called the Son of Green Hills. The Sons of Green Hills. The Sons were heroes to most gnomes and live on in various folk songs and legends. Jameson's sling was buried with him when he died of old age in 845 DR. It is believed that human thieves plundered his grave some years later, around 890 DR. That's pretty good. Plus 4. Plus 4. We've got Scarlet Blue Ion Stone. Many stories have been told about Chief Garrock's rise to power within his tribe of swivelback goblins. Some point to his talent for strategy, feeding his tribe for weeks on the spoils of a single raid, while others looked to his knowledge of obscure lore. The truth is both less interesting and more. The source of Garrock's power was a strange stone, which the goblin carried everywhere he went. When he found the stone, where he found this stone is a mystery, as well as where it went after Garrock's mysterious disappearance. But holding it in one's hand, one can hear the whispers of Garrock's expertise sounding across the centuries. Of course, the whispers are all spoken in the language of goblins, making them more or less useless to the humanoid races. Even so, the stone bestows greater knowledge on any who possess it. Intelligence +1. Don't care. So he's got Magic Missile, Chromatic Orb, Expeditious Retreat, Find Familiar, Reflected Image. Let's see. So this is kind of like a lesser mirror image, I guess. There's a 50% chance that the attacker will attack the image and a 50% chance that he will attack the caster. Image will disappear if although it doesn't actually go away when it gets attacked. Actually could be good. Go ahead and buy that. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Someone needs Mel's Acid Arrow, I think. So I'll go buy one of those. Anything else good? You get a lot of spells, actually. Do I have Mel's Minute Meteors yet? Don't know if I do. Well, I think the... I'm not sure what the green square around it means. Well, there's a green around that one. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Well, it definitely doesn't mean that I have written it. Maybe the lack of a green square around it means that I do know it, and the green means that I don't know it. Yeah, that must be what it is. Okay. Oh, he also has the Conjure Elementals. Lower resistance is probably good. As dumb as it kind of is. Protection from normal weapons. Breach. Breaches and dispels all specific combat protections. That's pretty good. This is going to cost a lot. Trollish Fortitude. Generates 5 hit points per round. Oh, I like that. Protection from magical energy. 100% invulnerability to all magic-based attacks such as Magic Missile and Abidalzim's Horrid Wilting. Could be good. Pierce Magic. Protection from the elements. Plus 75% resistance to all elemental attacks such as fire, cold, and electricity. Electricity isn't actually an element. It is a quasi-element. Whether magical or non-magical. From spell, blah, 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 blah. That's a pretty complicated spell. Might need to look at that later. Ooh, Delayed Blast Fireball. One of my favorites. But man, this is expensive. Maybe I actually won't buy any more right now. Yeah, I don't really need them right now. I'll keep those two. Oh, actually what I should do is... May I see some of your special goods? Alright, you will buy for more. Alright, so I'm going to kind of assume that this guy is the better place to sell stuff. So let's go ahead and sell those. You won't buy any of that. There we go. Let's see. Anything worthwhile in here to sell? Probably not really at the moment. Wait, what does the red potion do? That's right. Potion of power? No. What is that one that... Did I already sell the one that actually transferred... Because I had two that transferred stats. And I know I sold one of them. Strength transference. Let's sell that one. Dang it. I don't know if there's anything else that I could sell. Blur deck. Nah. Oh, I got her an ammo belt and put all the darts and slingstones in them since she uses those. Scroll case. Were there any scrolls that I was going to sell? Not really. Not right now. Okay. I'm interested in lodging for the night. Not that it matters, but let's just go ahead and get a nice, good rest. Okay, everyone is good. Let's go ahead and shake our bag. And what did we get? A dagger. Alright, well, let's go ahead and explore. Actually, let's see. Can I... Quick save? Yep.
I am prepared.
Alright, time to start stealing from people, perhaps. Let's actually get you over here.
Of course.
That sounds reasonable.
Had nothing to steal. Had nothing to steal. Nothing to steal. Pickpocket succeeded. What did we get? Ring of Greater Resistance. Armor class +2, crushing resistance +25%, and save versus spell +3. What do you have? What's that? Okay, can't do that. Probably not going to be able to, yeah, I like both those rings. And I can't swap that. It would be better. And I don't think she can wear that. Alright, well. Guess we'll sell this a little bit later. That's a better ring.
Agreed.
Ooh, hello. Alright, let's go with you. Let's go with detecting traps.
Done. Certainly.
Nothing in there. Alright, we do know that there is something in here. And just a magic robe that's unidentified yet. Let's go ahead and open that. Various reagents and bits of arcane lore clutter this table. Atop this small pedestal rests a solid globe of crystal. Strange bluish glow radiates from the globe. And 7 eyes. That's it? Seriously? Oh, come on. I guess we got a magic robe out of it. Oh yeah. Who needs Melf's acid arrow? Not you. Not you. You do. Alright, Robe of the Neutral Archmagi. Well, we can sell that.
Your command? Onward.
And up the stairs we go.
You have need of me? As you wish.
Just go ahead and open all the doors. Huh, another mage robe. Figured it would be locked. A oil of speed, which I think is a fake oil of speed. Ooh, wow, one whole whopping gold coin. Nothing in that one. Nothing there. Sleeping Dwarf. Sleeping Dwarf has nothing to say to you. Aww. But I want to talk to the Sleeping Dwarf. Ooh. Oh, a rogue stone. That should be. That's quite valuable. Got some arrows. It goes in there. Traveler's Robe. Armor class +1 versus missile attacks. Save versus breath +1. I really hate that bards can't use that. Yeah, that's junk. Let's sell that. Translocation arrows. Don't know if I'll ever use those, but they're a thing that we have.
Indeed.
Alright, that's it.
Of course. It shall be done.
Alright, we're not going to go... oh, hello. It's nighttime. Let's continue exploring the town before we do that Anarok Castle thing. Although I do kind of want to do that because I imagine there'll probably be some good treasures there. And it's not directly related to this stuff. Anyway, we'll see you all in the next episode. I might head up here and try talking to the Coopers again, see if anything has changed with me, kind of helping their marriage a little bit. See you next time, everyone.